Okay.
Dun dun.
Seeking Sister Wife. Season 3, Episode 7, Miss You Much. We didn't plan to say it at the same time. That was just a lucky break for you. So right off the bat...
Speaking of breaking things...
Yeah, speaking of uncontrolled anger... no, so we're going to address, first of all, a bunch of people asked us last week about the TMZ article, which we hadn't heard until we got comments in the video.
Is it that large wife goes all Godzilla?
No.
Oh.
It's about the Snowdens. So what came out was last week, after we'd filmed our video, or before, but we didn't see it, TMZ came out with an article that Chrissy filed a restraining order against both Dimitri and Ashley.
Yikes.
Sounds terrible. Not great. I don't know. And then that's the extent. We don't have any inside knowledge. That's all we know. Very concerned about it.
I mean, obviously that's
horrible.
That's something you take seriously. If the allegations are true, I mean, maybe it's a money play, kick them out of their own house and take it, or, I mean, I hope, I would hope that's going on over what's being said, because that's pretty awful.
Well, no, if someone's actually being hit, that's terrible and scary. We know nothing more than you do. That's all, and in terms of our comments, it's like, that sounds like something not that funny or enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
Anyway. So that's all we know. In general, we don't really follow the news live, but we feel like we need to talk about this one because it's talking about allegations of abuse, and so it seems like I don't want to make it seem like we're seeking light of it, but I kind of don't know what more to say about it because that's all we heard. I didn't know that they were still together or any of that, and I don't know how much more will even come out. Of course, people are now asking because there were some allegations around, go read the article, but the allegations were that he had hit her, that Ashley was abusive, that he had anger problems, that he had some, I don't really know. Go read the article. Anyway, the point being, now some people are asking, what about Vanessa? Is this why Vanessa left? I haven't heard anything about that. So that's sort of if you've heard something, you can link it in the comments or something, but all I heard was that one TMZ article.
Okay, moving on.
Which sounds terrifying, but it makes me not want to talk about them. So, but since this is all we know, I'm talking about the TV show, what was shown in this. Who do you want to start with?
I don't.
Let's get the Snowdens out of the way so then we can move on to making fun of people in a little happier situation.
They're boring and nothing happens.
No, the Snowdens. So, Taylor's moved in. Because of the COVID is now, once again, we're hitting another show. So, we hear about COVID again. They decided Chrissy and her two kids are going to arrive. They arrived right in the nick of time before they shut down planes. Everybody moves in. It has big, like, I'm moving to a commune energy.
The other girl's mom doesn't approve.
Yeah, the other girl's mom was definitely...
Because she's got a half a brain, at least.
Taylor's mom was very much like... You know, she's thinking, why did you do this to me? Put me on FaceTime and then film me. I can't say what I'm really thinking, which was probably extreme obscenities. Okay. Now, we're going to go to, apparently my favorite couple. This is what I'm hearing most people say, which is the Winders. When we first met them, we thought,
oh man,
they're so boring, they can't even be real. Now...
I want them as neighbors.
Yeah, well, now at this point, they're...
Or at least wouldn't mind.
They're the only couple that doesn't seem like a flaming pile...
of hot garbage.
In comparison to how everything else is going. So, they're boring, but they seem to genuinely like each other. Which seems to be above every other couple, except the Snowdens, but they clearly have their own problems.
And that they're not doing this for publicity, which is odd since it is a TV show. Yeah. This being polygamy? Yeah.
Because it does seem like there's couples that are doing it, or I think more so sister wives that are doing it for publicity. Anyway, this is like the one time I get to make a criticism about the wives in this sense, which is they're like third wife, and he's kind of like, I don't know if I want to bring on another wife. It seems like I've got a lot on my hands here with 2 kids and 2 wives. And then he kind of goes, and I'm just not attracted to her. And they're like, oh, you'll like her. You'll get horny in person. You gotta see her. And he's like,
wow.
I mean, they did not say horny in person.
Way to put it out there.
But that's kind of what she said.
Yes.
He's like, I think his words were, I just don't feel like there's a spark. And she's like, you can't tell spark over the phone. You have to see it in person. And it's like, Colonel, listen to your husband in this case. And this is the one time I'm saying it, which is like, if he's saying that right now he wants to give all the attention to the two of you and your two children, like, listen to him. But as we know from Sister Wives, that this is like this big religious push that the closer you are, the more wives you have, the closer you are to God's image and all that. So they have all this pressure to do that.
The children you've whispered to.
So...
Anyway.
Speaking of children we whispered to. Anyway.
Hi, bud.
Hi, everybody. So Tammy's picked up the slack. Tammy has picked up the slack for Sophie after they've had the baby. Tammy, we actually had to fast forward through a big section of this because it was about miscarriages.
That's just the most heartbreaking thing.
And so we were like, we send nothing but love and for that situation, but we personally just can't watch it. So no sarcasm, no jokes about that. Anyway, so that's the Winders. Boring, but when I say boring, I'm kind of half joking. But, though he totally called it out.
Definitely my favorite part of the show.
When he walks in and he goes, wow, for my birthday. And then they cut away and he's like, I know I don't show a lot of emotion, but I was really surprised. And then they had a whole thing about how he has no, like, facial expression. So it's like, they even know. It's like, I almost feel like me calling him boring. He'd be like, yeah, I can see why you would think that. Do you know what I mean? But I do like them. They're the highlight. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's okay. Okay, then we climb to the Clarks. That is the personal trainer.
The tank.
The tank, as we call him, because he's like built.
Because he's a tank.
Because he's a tank. And Vanessa. And we don't even see any more of Kayleigh. We get this long introduction about COVID and who's where, and they have 4 kids. I thought they had 2. But I guess, I'm sure they said that, and I'm not holding all this information in my head.
Because it's boring.
And basically she kind of ghosted him. But this is my opinion, is that she was already out and they got cast on the show and she's like, fine, dude, I can try a little more.
From the way they talked to her and the way they were talking about her, like she can go have her own life, but she could have done that here at the home. It's like, sounds like you just wanted a maid.
A babysitter. So they break up. I feel like they could have been like a 30-second thing. Hi. Do you want to come say hi? Anyway.
Grasshopper. Okay.
Grasshopper. He's like just slightly off screen. With his little binoculars in this shot. Anyway, and then we get to the Merrifields. Garrick, Bert, and Danielle. And Danielle, so they get on this whole thing.
Oh, this is the creeper?
Oh, yeah.
Super creeper.
Do you want to take him out to the hallway?
Yeah.
Come on.
You can get out of this.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so anyway, Danielle is like, I'm just really hurt that Bert didn't, that she told me that she had sex and I'm hurt because they had said I was enough and all this. And I'm like, you're mad at Bert? Not
Ernie?
Not Garrick, your husband? Like, that's the one who, and just definitely feels like she knows she's on precarious ground.
It's just me.
Anyway, we're not refilming this because it took us all day to get here. You coming out of the hallway?
Hey, come on, bud.
We're gonna...
Happy
Hey, guy, love you, buddy.
Hey, come
on.
Okay. So anyway, she's upset because they had this quickie and they didn't. Sorry, now I'm no longer. I'm just right there. And so they're going. So she goes and she talks to Garrick, and it's this. I couldn't even really hear the conversation. She's like, and I know she's upset, and I guess I am making fun of her, but it's just like, this is so painful to watch because he's clearly like 1,000 times more into Bert than he is into his wife. And based on several episodes in a row, it seemed like barely anything. Maybe he's just wanting to keep the first wife because she can raise the kids while he's with Bert. Anyway, then she makes a joke about how, is it my turn for a quickie? And I'll tell you what, if I made that joke with my husband and he didn't at least do a, of course it is, kind of response, like I would be devastated. And instead they just laughed and I was like, so he's just gonna turn down? Okay. Anyway, so then they're gonna say goodbye to Bert and he's like legit crying quite a bit. And it's like, it's never great when your husband's crying about leaving someone else, but I get it. So anyway, I'll be curious to see if we have episode 8, if it ends at 8, or if we go on to 10, or what's going on. Sorry for the little interruption. It has taken us all day, and this is literally the only time we have to do it, and our son hunted us down. So, okay, bye.